Good morning. Good morning. Don't worry, never fear. Nadia will be here. She's just heading down in a moment. Morning, everyone. Morning, Sylvia Murphy. Good morning. Happy Monday. Ellery Jones, Sue Kay. Is Hazel Malbon in the room at all? I just wanted to say an enormous thank you for, I think it might have been Hazel. We're not entirely sure. Cards get detached from gifts, but thank you so much for some plates that we received. My God, I think it was from Hazel. Morning, Sue Kay. Hazel, you're here. Hi to all I've missed. Was it you, Hazel? There was a card on top of the box. Here comes Nat. Love them. Absolutely love them. So kind, so kind. And Tez, good morning. Capture Life Each Day. Deborah Holdsworth, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome back. Those of you who are in the members area, who are family guests. We had some chuckles and fun this weekend, didn't we? Sorry for those of you who aren't, but oh, here she comes. Just a walking down the street saying, ooh, a dilly dilly dum.
I was just doing an Instagram live.
I like it.
What?
Yeah, I like it.
Kiki just said, I think Daddy will like it.
I really like it.
No.
Yeah, it's a sort of gesture towards having your hair up, which I quite like.
This is what I
Weirdly,
thought.
we look even more like each other with our hair today.
Oh my God, I look like an American novelist.
Right.
It's like, I just need to get my coffee. I need to put my ass on the chair.
Get your coffee.
And I need to write.
Okay.
Oh, I thought you thought I would look too old.
Not at all. I think you look great. I think you look very...
Great!
Yeah, I think you look brilliant. I like it.
You like it?
Why are you so surprised?
Oh, baby, I like it like that. I like it like that. I like it like that. Ooh.
Fucking hell.
I suppose, to be fair, you didn't know I had ADHD when you married me.
Yeah, but you didn't know I had it. Why is it so manifest in such a different way?
What's a different way?
I don't sit here singing bad songs in the wrong order.
Mark, you do terrible things. Terrible. Nobody knows it. Nobody knows. It's way out. Not nice podcast. Stop.
All right. It was all right.
Sorry, podcasters. Yeah, but you go on and on. You do the chorus.
I got in last night and I was in a right old sort of mania. I was having great fun. It was lovely.
Don't mind whether you were going to like my hair. What about your bloody hair?
Can anyone see that?
What is that? That's a cockatoo. Yeah. I'm telling you something. You're going to the barber's today.
No, look. Can anyone see that lump there? Do you remember what that scar is from? The witch's pimple on the witch in the loft that hit me in the forehead.
Oh, yeah, years ago. Look. Oh, God, can you get it? Morning, everybody. Slow and sinister knock. So what do you think of my new hairstyle, guys? Chloe says I look 30, Mark. If anyone was just over on my Instagram, you'll know that I am close to complete insanity. I actually said to people, go to my stories and I will click on the link. I mean, nothing in my brain is working. People were asking if I'd had coffee, and the answer is no. So,
fill.
Yes. It's the witch's knob.
Not witch's knob. Fill the hole.
Yes, good.
No, push hard. Push hard.
Very boring.
It's not.
All right, I'm pushing hard now.
No, you're supposed to feed it. God, you're such a girl. You're supposed to go, oh, that's actually an indentation in the bone.
Oh, God, you've got an indentation in the bone. Yeah. How are you going to survive?
No, it's not for that. It's because it's interesting.
To you.
Why have you got a bit of makeup on your nose?
What, rub it.
You tell me about my hair, I'll tell you about things. I told you you look lovely. You just tell me I look like a cockatoo. Cockatoo. Is it a cockatoo or a cockatoo?
Did anyone enjoy the first night of our weekly vlog? It goes out every Sunday, 6:30 in the evening. Now, you might all say, yeah, because you both are very ADHD and you say a time and then it's not going to be that time. It is. It is going out 6:30 every Sunday because we thought it's quite nice Sunday evening. There's not often a lot on the telly.
Shit.
And loads of people yesterday. Stop always trying to pull photos.
I'm not. My eyelashes. People are asking about them.
I'm talking.
Fuck me, you pull
right,
photos all the time. No, go on.
Do your eyelashes.
No, you do your thing.
You do your eyelashes. No, I'm leaving.
No, that's just... Everyone was asking about my eyelash. I like your trousers as well. Yeah, I like everything she's wearing. Hey, guys, guess what? I've also used moisturizer.
This is getting so boring now. Fucking hell. I wasn't even.
You spend hours talking about moisturizer and eye stuff and hair stuff and fiddly stuff and stuff it in your ears stuff and up your bum
No,
stuff.
but for podcast people.
This isn't podcast people.
No, but you have to take them into consideration.
Your podcast people
your
listen.
voice has gone too high now.
Podcast people listen.
Stop.
Non-podcast
Stop.
people watch.
Stop.
Oh my God.
Stop.
So go back to where you were.
Stop. If you're new to the channel, I'm so sorry that this is your first experience of us. I don't even know what to say. Right. Welcome to Coffee Moaning. On Coffee Moaning, usually we have 2, 3, 4 stories. But there are so many stories within the LA fires that we're kind of sticking with it because Mark and I have just had a lovely weekend away. Thank you for my birthday.
That's all right.
And we spent a lot of time, like I'm sure a lot of you guys have, talking about the fires, talking about all the ins and outs of it and what it means to, you know, right across the world and all the individuals that are involved. And we just thought, why don't we just like extend that chat with you guys?
Yeah.
Because it is interesting. It's not just about the fire. There's so many. Did you see that video I sent you of the woman setting fire?
Yeah, I don't know if it's real.
I didn't know whether
I
it was
don't know
real.
if I believe it.
Yeah, me too. It's interesting, isn't it? So there's even that. There's so lots of misinformation going around. This was a video that's playing out of a woman literally just standing over some rubbish and lighting it.
Yeah, caught theoretically on a Ring doorbell, though that wasn't a ring. I know they weren't saying they filmed it on the Ring doorbell. I don't know. It could have easily been shot by a neighbour of someone at a different time of the year, because that didn't look like a street.
Yeah, but why would she have been lighting the rubbish?
Well, it was all very strange.
It was all very strange. Anyway,
so
there's so much. There's so many things flying around, isn't there? And there's so and God, you know, nobody knows the absolute truth of any of it yet. That's what all the professionals are saying every time you hear anyone speak. But
can I just pause for a second? Because MeTube says, to be honest, MeTube, sometimes you can be a bit headmastery, but it's okay. MeTube, to be honest, I've been more focused on the false promises of AI to boost economy. Fuck the AI to boost economy bollocks. I have been focused and outraged and was spitting feathers this morning on the radio. We will talk about it tomorrow. About this government's free fall acceptance of AI potentially into education. Madness, absolute madness. AI, big ChatGPT being encouraged to be used by, what are we doing? Just so that everything can be streamlined. But it's
and then it's going to be one of those cases where all the cats are then out of the box, the kittens, and you can't get them back in. We keep inviting more and more of this world into ours, and it's not gone well, has it, so far?
Now, so we'll be talking about it tomorrow. We'll be talking about that tomorrow. I really want to talk about that tomorrow. I also want to mean
wheelhouse, MeTube.
We'll also tomorrow be talking about the unspeakable individual, former member of the Labour Party, part of the Israeli lobby, who managed to get Jeremy Corbyn fired, and how he was
been arrested
by a paedophile ring. Yeah,
has been arrested. We don't know. We don't know. But we want to look into that more before we talk about that tomorrow.
But like Nadia says, we're going to focus on the on the LA fires. There are many different facets to this story, many different, from global. Nadia rather poignantly and incredibly impressively and articulately on her post on Instagram, if you haven't seen it, talked about how the response from the world has been apt, appropriate, correct, right, tender, thoughtful, considered, sympathetic to the LA fires. And you were just kind of positing the question, why could the same not be done for a defined number of many more innocent people who have been killed in Gaza? So it was an interesting discussion. At first, it feels, is it a comparison of sorts? But there is a comparison when it comes to the human response to a human tragedy.
The world crying about the houses lost in LA and homes lost in LA, and quite right, because it's just horrendous. It doesn't matter whether you're a multimillionaire or you are in your tent.
But can I just say,
wherever you make your home, that's what I said on Friday. Yeah. Friday wasn't, wherever you make your home, that's your home, and to lose it, it's just horrendous. I know I always quote this show that I made years ago. Accidents will happen, and it was all kind of people that had lost their homes through fire or flood or all different reasons, and every single time what people wanted most was the photos in the house.
Yes.
And that comes up over and over again. They would say, I'd be interviewing them and they'd go, and the photos, all the photos in there, the memories. And
Well, I also just wanted to say, can I just say, congratulations, but a huge well done for your post, because it was a very difficult balancing act. I think a lot of comments underneath, a lot of people have kind of seen your post about talking about the LA fires and then sort of relating it to the response and attitude to Gaza. And I think a lot of people have not quite known how to bridge the two, kind of the feeling that there's a difference in response, knowing that the two situations aren't entirely similar.
Of course.
And not quite knowing where to put that sort of feeling. And I think your post, please go and watch it. Nadia's post articulated it perfectly.
For instance, I was talking to a couple of charities that I do certain stuff for. And they actually 3 different charities have told me that no, actually I'm going to save that.
Minky Moo, the reason people are commenting on LA is because it's not political. People fear commenting on anything political for fear of judgment or misunderstanding.
If it's 8 frozen babies frozen to death, really one would imagine that all politics disappear if you just reduce it down to a newborn baby. Because I could say, an 8-year-old has been dragged off and thrown into prison and nobody knows anything about what's happening with them in Gaza, and that sort of thing's happening all the time. Somebody might go, well, 8, you see, they could already be radicalized, so they could in fact be a terrorist. That's what actually people say. So I think when you say a newborn baby frozen to death, and people still can't adjust their brain or have any sympathy or understanding for that, I just go, well done, the powers that be. Well done for an incredible job of silencing people against speaking up. This is a genocide. This is filmed. It's all filmed. People are going to feel so awful afterwards. Miss Anne Harriman today was talking about the mass graves. He said, how are people going to feel when those are, so the feeling, and you're absolutely right in that. It's just because there's no politics, people feel safe.
Although, don't get me wrong, it's becoming deeply political.
But it's becoming very, very political.
That doesn't mean it's not political.
No.
It's becoming incredibly political.
But maybe people will start to retract.
I think another aspect of it, because America, and I'm not suggesting for a minute that California or LA has been supportive. I mean, because America's foreign policy has essentially been one of supporting Israel, and therefore
and California itself,
hundreds of millions. The California state of California, hundreds of millions,
and yet they cut their fire budget by 17 million.
Yeah,
it's interesting, isn't it?
So Americans, Californians have lost out on fire personnel, fire budget because money has been sent to Israel. Now, here's one of the things that I hope could come out of this, or maybe you would hope would come out of it, is for anyone who is in this awful, awful natural disaster, who has been incredibly outspoken, intolerant, insensitive, totally unsympathetic to the plight of people in Gaza. If you have unfortunately gone through any horror in this, and I hope to God that you haven't, but if you have, maybe it will just give a little bit of an insight into the human aspect. Because I think what happens is, if people are of a different color and in a region, which, let's face it, to most Americans is anywhere else other than America that is alien and far away, they're not deserving of our sympathy. And maybe this will in some small way make some Americans who have been utterly unmoved by the crisis in Gaza suddenly stop and go, fuck me. I know such and such who's now got nothing and is living in an evacuation center.
She said the Palisades. I mean, they look like they look like Gaza or like some war-torn country. It's like, pause. With what you just said, you're talking about the horror, and it is a horror what they're facing, and this has been going on for 14 months, and you just chuck the line like it's like, I don't know, like Gaza or a war-torn country. It's like, it still doesn't seem to be touching you.
No, but that's something. Well, and also that's something that America has funded. Farida R went on the BBC News website today. Not surprised to see nothing on Gaza in comparison to loads of features on the fire. Fires are major news, but why so silent on the genocide? Well, I've got an answer for you, and it's from someone else in the room, Tanya Bartlett. The media have brainwashed people to think that the whole of Palestine are terrorists and the world is at risk. They can't see the genocide going on. So sickening.
And what I'd like to just quickly touch on is the ecocide, right? The ecocide that is being caused by Israel, by these unbelievably powerful bombs being dropped day in, day out. I mean, the figures are petrifying, the amount of emissions, the phosphorus, the chemicals. So it is affecting that's affecting the whole world. You know, even if you want to think of every Palestinian, even a newborn frozen baby, as a terrorist, how about just thinking about what is actually happening to the planet? And somebody said something yesterday. Armies consider themselves across the world completely out of the whole discussion around the planet. You know, whatever they're doing, whatever they're dropping, whatever bombs they're using are not relevant in the discussion about ecocide, but they are. And all these things all together add up to what's going on in LA. And there's a brilliant Instagram account called Youth Demand, and they posted something. I reposted it on my stories, and it really sent a chill through me, didn't it? It said, we will continue, I'm paraphrasing, we will continue to see one disaster after another through our phones until we are filming our own disaster. And that's why this can be a moment where people do actually go, fuck, actually, we've all got to just listen here to what these scientists are telling us.
You've got to be pretty
and put the pressure on.
You've got to be pretty damn stupid to not draw the dot, connect the dots to all of these things. Let's just finally on the Gaza equivalence here.
The President of the United States thinks that that it's a fake, that it's fake news. The problem with the planet.
Yes. But if the bomb in Hiroshima and the bomb in Nagasaki, which are widely considered to have been things that shouldn't have happened, I think, and will have caused radiation and destruction for years and years to come. They're talking about in LA, the wildfires taking at least, as they currently stand, 10 to 15 years before the communities and neighborhoods to recover and the business local infrastructure to recover. 15 years. They say it's going to take Gaza something like 2 lifetimes, 60 to 75 years. They've dropped the equivalent of 6 to 7 to 8 nuclear or Nagasaki or Hiroshima bombs on Gaza.
Size of East London. Never forget, Gaza is the size of East London. We can all pretend that has no impact on the. If you can't get on board with that's fucking awful, when this bombing hasn't happened against a well-equipped army, it's happened against principally a population. I mean, how the world, but also the population of the world, because of the ecocide business, what it's doing to the planet. So just take Gaza and people out of it.
Just quickly, final 2 comments on this, and we promise we will move on. Al-Zaran, I doubt they will. Hi, Al-Zaran, I hope you're well, mate. I doubt they'll make the connection with themselves. All they see is brown. Zoe, I say this a lot, but the difference with LA and Ukraine support with Palestine is disgraceful. The media tell us what to think, feel, complete manipulation. It's boring. You know what? Watching the news is boring. It's really boring and predictable. And do you know, I've kind of got the ick with all mainstream news providers now. I watch it and I look at reporters and I look at them and I think, you're a stupid two-bit student union piece of shit, propping up a load of cocky bucky
I love that. Get the ick out.
I watch the news, and you watch news presenters come on, and I look at you and go, oh, you're so embarrassing. You're such an embarrassment to us all. You ask 0 questions. Well, how do you justify yourself? Oh, drives me mad. Anyway.
So we've seen all kinds of humanity throughout. Oh, I mean, it's interesting and beautiful and everything about the animals. I mean, people just the rescuing.
That note, let me just show you this. We've got some footage here. Animals being rescued. Let me show you this first. This film is so sweet. Watch this. This is a horse going back to rescue 2 more horses from the fire. Watch this horse.
Oh my God, I love
it. Runs down here to check on this one, and it's foal. Says, "Are you okay, mate?" It says, "Come on." And look, there's another horse at the top. Look, it's rescuing horses. And that's so sweet. And then also we've got this. This is a piece The Guardian's running on its YouTube channel. Lots of animals brought in. Pasadena, Maine has been taking in animals.
As yet, I don't think that many people won't be able to. Yeah, you won't be able to do your. Oh my God.
I mean, these are truly scenes of devastation. The centre is acting as a temporary shelter while families evacuate. Over 400 animals been taken in. Oh. Goats, cats, dogs, turtles, pigs. Look at that pig.
You see again when I see this.
A couple of burn animals come in, some animals with smoke inhalation. So we're very lucky here in that we have an animal ICU, and we have some really great veterinarians and RVTs and vet techs who can basically spring into action and take care of any animal that.
God, I can't help to keep comparing again. I saw an IDF video which they thought was really hilarious, and they were just shooting animals in the street, and that would just not be shown. And yet, you know, again, it's important that we care about our animals. I'm not saying we shouldn't have these feelings, but I can't help just constantly be going, The comparisons to me are insane.
Yeah. I'm just going to throw out some photos. The National Guard have been brought in because there's an increasing risk of looting. And I don't know if anyone saw this.
Been looting.
There was a story developing last night. Kamala Harris's house or property in Brentwood was surrounded, or a couple of suspicious individuals were seen sort of tracking around. And what's actually happening with the looting? You think, we all sort of think, oh, right, jump on a bike of some form, get into the area and loot. Obviously, they're not looting amongst the embers of the burnt down houses. What's happening is there are lots of evacuated houses. And for anyone who's been to LA, lives in LA, you go to the Hollywood Hills, any of these areas, not even the posh areas. I mean, I don't know if you remember. The security camera thing, it's a big business in America.
They're all down.
Do not come. Yeah, so all of those systems, all the pubs, all of that kind of monitoring has gone. And so what's happening is the houses that are left standing, and apparently, I didn't realize, some of the looters are dressed as firemen. They're using fire service uniforms. They're going in to suggest that they need to kind of do an assessment, and stuff has been taken. So looting is becoming an increasing possible problem, which reminds me, it throws me back. Do you remember Hurricane Katrina, when New Orleans fell into absolute horror?
And again, you know, what we were talking about over the weekend, and don't think for 1 second as I say this that I'm saying that looting is forgivable, or, you know, it's an awful, terrible thing to do. But how much longer is the world going to be so divided, where we have this incredible, you know, wealth, the haves and the have nots living alongside. You know, we were talking the other day, weren't we, about, you know, just this huge expanse of people living out, and of course made so much worse after the pandemic, people homeless, living just inside of these palaces. I mean, some of these places, 40 million, 50 million, you know, people posting all about their like insane. I feel physically sick when somebody posts something about a really expensive car, or like a bag, you know, a bag that cost. We turned on the other day Dubai Bling, didn't we? And there was somebody saying, did you see that her bag is obviously rented because she had to put it back in a dust bag? And these bags have cost £40,000, some of these bags. And you're just like, it's so wrong. And so, like, if you are, you know, starving out on the street, and you've been living in these damn cold tents, and you're looking up, you see, you know, what do we expect? How much longer do we think we can hold this fragile world together when there's so much unfairness? And that's what I'm feeling and thinking when I look around. I'm just going, we've got an unfair world.
Well, on that note, I was just popping up some images here. This is the National Guard who's been brought in. They had originally 400, and over the weekend they increased it by another 1,600, I think. So over 2,000 National Guard. For any movie fans here, these are images. These are images reminiscent of Alex Garland's recent Civil War. We've got some other images here of the devastation over the weekend. Bear in mind that the fires are coming, the winds are coming back this evening, LA time. So the worry is that they're trying to get as much of a handle on the fires as possible before returning.
It's like the rage of the planet. These are the owners. Like the rage. It's like we are all fucking morons the way we've treated this beautiful earth of ours. And we have more and more maniacs coming into power that want more and want more fossil fuels and want more money, and the billionaires. There used to be, what was it we were hearing the other day, 20 billionaires in America. There's now 2,500 billionaires.
Well, someone's just said it's the fastest growing demographic in America.
It's billionaires. Yeah. What does a billionaire tell you? Well, a billionaire means they've had theirs and yours and yours and yours and yours and yours.
I mean, I couldn't help but feel the huge, really quite sort of thumping contrast of all of this catastrophe and cost and everything. Meanwhile, Jeff Bezos is sending his first rocket into space to compete with Elon Musk. And you're like, big boys with toys, billionaires.
What are you doing? What are you putting into the planet every time you take another bloody rocket up? Look at this. Look at this.
But to be fair to the billionaires firing rockets into space, they are trying to recycle the kind of jet engines that they fire up. These images of the Palisades area, I mean, that's quite, I mean, again, that could be Gaza, couldn't it? I mean, that is flattened. That is, you can see the triangle of the community.
The way those trees are still there.
Yeah, it's weird that they still. This is the fire retardant that they're dropping on houses.
How chemical is that? What's that doing?
Well, and also basically so when the fire does return, if it returns. Now, what I didn't realize was I've just been watching or monitoring.
But I can't stand it.
I was just watching a live helicopter video feed over Runyon Canyon. There's, as we speak right now, as I understand it, there is a huge tailback on Hollywood Boulevard. The fire is thundering along towards Brentwood. If it hits Brentwood, you've got your next big, massive community disaster potentially. And that's what they're worried about happening in the next 12 to 24 hours. It could be a real acceleration of trying to control it. But what I didn't realize is even when the firemen and the fire services have managed to quash it, control it, they try then to turn the top into mud. The heat is so ferocious that the embers are inches beneath the ground. Their worry is that the embers are so hot they come out and they blow on.
It is literally
it's the earth's
going, fuck you.
Yeah.
How many other bloody warnings do we have to give you?
From today until Wednesday, you're absolutely right. These just some really quite telling images. Look, you can see the remnants of, these are just suburban streets. We all know the images from ET of these sorts of streets. This is another family. I don't think that's Megan.
Yeah, that is Megan.
It is Megan. I've got some footage of Megan as well with people. Look at this. Guys cycling past the remnants. You can see tables.
We were saying yesterday, weren't we? There was like some people had just driven down there and were just filming it. And it was like this is this is an absolute movie set. I know it's been said so many times over the last few days, but how can we help but keep saying that in movie land? Your own disaster movie, and people can say, well, it's the winds, you can't stop the winds, but the winds are part of the destruction of the planet.
These Santa Ana winds are a thing, they're known. But, I mean, the fact that they're happening this early and it's this dry and this poor woman sat in the remnants of her home in the corner there.
It's like when you see pictures of this in Gaza and people have gone to and their house is completely bombed through and they're trying to make a little corner and they're trying to put a little rug up and a bit. That need to nest back to where your nest was, no matter what it was, is just such a powerful human thing.
This image is Gaza. It's The Last of Us. It's everything we've seen in the movies. It's quite shocking. Now,
and you know what? On the way to where we went for the weekend, which you will see in the vlog, we listened to this interview on Times Radio. It was terrifying, wasn't it? Very, very smart man. I think some kind of economist. And he was talking about the breakdown. And this was actually made, this interview, before the fires, wasn't he? And he was talking about the breakdown of society and how we're going to end up with total chaos. And, if things aren't done pretty quickly, like with the leaders of the world and the selfish way that every country is feeling, is behaving, and that's, that exceptionalism that so many countries have and all of this. And the interview said, where's it going to end up? He said, in chaos. It will end up like Haiti and these places.
But the problem
and we were like,
and the problem with America is that America has a self-sufficiency. But what's really quite worrying, I think, for any Americans in the room is that, I think it was the same piece we were listening to. There's currently this idea that Donald Trump may not action nor sanction Federal Reserve funds to support California. We have a situation where, and this has happened in the past, I think there were other fires somewhere else.
So bad.
Donald Trump may not action access to funds to help the recovery program, to help the communities.
By his new right wingers,
because he feels that this whole kind of fire situation has been brought upon themselves by Gavin Newsom, or New Scum as he describes him, and the mayor.
We don't use that.
No, we don't. But I mean, this is the language that he's using. You know, Gavin Newsom has invited. There's a thing going on.
Gavin Newsom is the governor of California, and Trump has real jealousy issues with him.
And Gavin Newsom is the potential new Democrat candidate, I think.
Could one day be president.
But anyway, so Gavin Newsom's tried to get ahead of this. I think he sent a letter to Donald Trump saying, please come. You're the president-elect. You're going to be in 7 days. Come and see the devastation. That's what leaders do, isn't it? Regardless of whether it's just kind of, you know. And he hasn't replied. He's in fact, he's insulted them. And if we have a situation where you have a president who won't bail out states that he considers to be Democrat, you've got civil war. You've absolutely got civil war.
And the thing is, you know, as they were saying on something else we were listening to, you know, imagine if Biden had done that with the fires in Texas.
Exactly.
Because they could have said, listen, you continuously do not listen to the advice of what you're supposed to do, blah, 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 blah. And there's all kinds of little details. For instance, eucalyptus trees are not a native tree, and they were brought over by en masse. And apparently eucalyptus trees burn like crazy. So,
and the palm trees look devastating. The palm trees get on fire. They don't burn all the way down, but they do. But they seem to spark off and fire off. I don't know whether it's kind of like whatever
But they're native to California.
Well, some of them are, but they're kind of more shipped into some of those some of those streets. And you think, I just want to share. This is a comment or a brief comment on the BBC from one of the Oppenheimer brothers from Selling Sunset, about the fact that, talking about people taking advantage of the poor.
This is a different kind of looting.
This is rich kind people looting. But listen to this. This is the idea of price gouging by landlords in LA.
Looting by landlords.
I want to discuss because I think it should be exposed, but we're having landlords taking advantage of the situation. I had a client, we sent him to a house that was asking $13,000 a month. He offered $20,000 a month, and he offered to pay 6 months up front. And the landlord said, no, I want $23,000 a month.
Disgusting.
You know, there are price gouging laws in California that are just being ignored right now. And this isn't the time to be taking advantage of situations. And it's also illegal to take advantage of a natural disaster.
Now, so do you think that landlords might be not just profiting during this emergency, but actually breaking the law?
Absolutely, they are. I mean, I researched the law last night. You cannot charge more than 10% above mark, you know,
So hang on, a journalist once again repeating an answer,
said.
repeating the answer that's just been given to her and turning it into a question.
She really is. But that to me is the same as the looter running into the house, except it would never be discussed in that way. It's disgusting. It's taking advantage of people at their lowest point, and shame on them. Shame on them.
Other people are coming in under fire. The Kardashians, Khloe Kardashian, particularly tried to lock horns with the mayor, suggesting this is a kind of civic failure of the governance of California. Khloe Kardashian and Kim Kardashian have come under fire. They have been fined repeatedly, apparently, for using way more than their allotted amount of water. Now, you know, the blame game is going to kick in. If, you know, this is talk about hosepipe wars. This is hosepipe wars on a spectacular level. By all accounts, I think Kim Kardashian has been using hundreds and hundreds of gallons more to water a garden. And the reason these edicts are put out, or these rules, are precisely in events like this, that when they go to the water hydrants, there is water there. We won't get involved with the much bigger story of certain billionaires in LA who control huge amounts of water, who themselves pay millions of pounds to the IDF.
Than everyone else.
You believe it or not? Yeah.
We want more.
You know, I think unless California and America is willing to look at the massive iniquity between those who have everything and those who have nothing, these kind of things are going to carry on.
And those that have everything and want everything else too. I mean, why should you have sweeping green, lush lawns when others are not being disallowed water? It's absolutely disgusting.
Here's some footage of Megan.
And you know what? I genuine. I said to you, didn't I? You wait. There'll be a load of stuff.
Well, there's even a moment where Harry looks at the camera. You can see the thought passes over his eyes. Like, oh God, here we go. You know, local community, everyone coming out, everyone worried, talking to people, listening. So they've been out and about.
He knows exactly what people will say.
I want to show this clip because it just frightened the fuck out of me. This is what they call a fire nadir.
Unbelievable. Yeah, you get big pressure changes, big temperature changes, and you can see those. It's a real thing. There's actually been an EF3 fire NATO that happened in the past.
Fire NATO.
Fire NATO. And some other clips here. Halle Berry. This is a clip that you found, Ned, isn't it?
Nikki Kehoe, Busted Coop, we're out here doing what they said they would do. We're giving back to the community. We've got everything you can imagine.
We're stocked, we're ready for you to come. We've got kids, men's, women's, everything you might need. Please come. We'll put our arms around you. We will get you what you need. We will fill bags of brand new things that will hopefully make your life a little easier.
Toys, baby stuff, anything you need. And if you don't have a bag, come here. We'll give you a bag to take it away with. If you can't come here, send somebody on your behalf. You can also reach out to us, DM me personally too. We've got people who get it sent to you. We have a deal with Uber.
We have drivers. We have people who want to put the things you need right into your hands and make this as easy and painless for you as possible.
We have personal shoppers here who can help you. Like, you literally show up and just like we can help you fill bags and sort through everything you need.
Just want to quickly just say, Jack, I just see your comment. You say no, not that one. Yeah, you taking umbrage with Matthew. You're wrong about right-wing self-serving. It's left-wing left-wing and right-wing. I mean, you can hardly call, if the Democrats are left-wing, God only knows.
God help us.
God help us all. But Democrats and Republicans are as self-serving and as idiotic and selfish
and all
as anyone
taking
else.
money. The corruption in American politics. I didn't realize how corrupt America is. I feel like I've been totally fast asleep all my life. The more I find out, the more I'm blown away.
And then there's just one other clip I wanted to show.
The little old man?
Yeah, I'll show that. And then Spencer Pratt lost his home. This is the reality star. I just want to quickly show this because he's, when you're faced with nothing, he's lost everything. This is interesting.
The Hulu reality TV show, all of our big shot agents at.
So basically, they've lost everything, and they've put out
$3
a
million
campaign.
House.
They've lost their house. The reality stars.
If you don't know anything about reality, they're like massive reality stars.
And I think they're pivoting and innovating quite cleverly here. They've lost everything, and they're thinking, let's get a fucking deal to make a show about rebuilding from the ground up. Oh, hang on, add it back in.
UME. Same agents that dropped David Baldoni. No, well, Spencer, don't get in this. Don't get in the drama. Just kidding. Team Blake, hey, Ryan. So they have a big call with Hulu, allegedly, on Monday. So we got, today's what, Saturday? 2 days to spam every Hulu account, X, IG, TikTok, anywhere there's Hulu, just Spidey show, Heidi and Spencer reality show. So Monday, their social media department calls and they're like, you better give Heidi and Spencer a new docuseries about rebuilding their lives and their house out of the rubble. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to use our content. They're going to think, like, make them think we got Russian bots and like a Drake bot farm for streaming, or what Drake said, Kendrick had, or whatever. Make Hulu think that, because we could troll them into just being like, go away, we're gonna do the show so we can have all of our social media back.
I mean, I guess part of his shtick is being as objectionable as possible.
He's a little shit.
Yeah, he's an absolute,
and he's always been a shit.
And
he's unbelievably watchable in a world that
Gemma Berry, he's a knob.
That is so fake. He's got that sweet girlfriend, hasn't he? That he made have all that plastic surgery so she looked like his sister. But aside from all of that, I always admire movers and shakers, people that I'm not ashamed to say, this is what I want to do and this is what I need to do. And apparently they've actually had a lot of support. I thought they would be absolutely taken down by the haters. People always assume, actually, because of course you've got the mega wealthy, haven't you? But then you've got these people that are kind of on the edge and they're living like any moment that the set dressing can be taken down, couldn't it? And I think they're of that ilk.
Yeah.
They don't get as much work as they did. They've probably put everything that they've earned into that house and they're probably like brassic.
Yeah.
And there is no shame in saying I'm brassic and I've got to try and think. And they are very watchable. I mean, on Celebrity
I mean, from a business perspective, it's innovative and, you know, he's trying to survive.
Try and survive, and, you know, like, and be honest about it, you know.
I'm just going to play this final clip.
Even the fire.
I lost everything. It's hard. Children from my wife. She passed away in 2022. I met her on a dance floor at age 17 in Germany. We danced for the rest of our life. She's at a cemetery not too far away from my son's home. I'm every Sunday morning going to Trader Joe, pick up beautiful flowers, pick up my son, and then we go to the cemetery and leave the flowers at the gravesite. I think she will enjoy the flowers. My wife and I maintained the whole yard. We didn't have a gardener. We lived there for 60 years. Just a few weeks ago, I renewed my driver's license. About 8 o'clock, I like to get up, go out and play tennis. A lot of times people walk by and just sat there on the bench, was watching me. It has been such a beautiful little city, the city palisades, you know, just wish we could have tasted.
What legacy do you want to leave behind?
My life is not gone. So that's the main thing. I have 5 great-grandchildren, so there's a lot to look forward to as they grow up. I just want to continue being around and seeing them grow.
Human beings,
every single individual story of loss, whether it be American or Gazan, is just
or Sudanese or Congo, everywhere there's so much suffering. And I just hope that somehow we're going to just come back to something as a world, as we just see more and more things
I just hope
that we're outraged by. Maybe we'll just shift again. I don't know.
I hope we stop trying to draw distinctions between atrocities happening to people. I wish we could all not somehow, somewhere, for some reason, some of us, not all of us, and many of you here not, have an ability to kind of partition trauma as being sympathetic and empathetic here and utterly, you know, excusable over there. Excusable even. But anyway, guys, thank you for all of your comments, as always, all of your contributions. More content will be landing again today. Do subscribe if you haven't. And
lots of people asking me last week about Loose Women. We had something else that we had to film, but I'm going to be on Wednesday and Friday this week. Wednesday and Friday.
Cool. Okay, guys, lots of love. Take care. Bye.